Hello. By the way, did you know that the time to check your DV lottery if you applied last year is this May 4th? That is May 4th, 2024. Oh, oh, yes, that's the date. So it's less than a month or 3 months. My bad. Less than 3 months. Anyway, it's just 2 months, I guess, because we are on March, right? So please don't forget to check it out because your luck may be on that day. Last time I discussed about step 1 of how I won my green card. I felt like there are 2 things I missed out, so I could like to do a quick recap on step 1 on how I won my green card. First of all, you have to go to a nearby cyber and you should have your passport handy with you because there's a section whereby you will be asked provide your passport number and the expiry date of your passport, which should be more than 6 months before you enter into the United States. So make sure you have your passport. I know there's a problem in Nyayo House on acquiring a passport because I have a friend who has been waiting for a passport since last year. Hajapata. So please make sure you have the passport with you. That's Kenyan passport. Something else I forgot. When you write, if you have a family, that's your wife and kids. And let me start with your wife, with your spouse. If you are living separate, someone may ask, what do you mean by separate? Najua wakati mwingine ndio inachosha kidogo. So wife ana decide kwenda kwao kidogo, na wewe una decide kwenda Kericho kidogo, tuna chai. So if you live separate, you can apply and include your spouse and also your kids. But if you are legally separate, when I say legally separate, sometimes the court can decide that you will not live together because either a man or a woman seems to be dangerous. So the court decides that you live separate. So if you live separate legally, there could be an issue there whereby you can include your spouse in the application and you won't be penalized, but either of your spouse, either man or woman, if you won, may not be eligible to enter into the United States. Okay, so I think that's much. And there's another issue. If you are single and you went to apply, please don't include your future wife. Ukiongeza girlfriend, you may be disqualified. For more about marriage issues and immigration, please consult your immigration lawyer. I'm not a lawyer on those issues. Okay, so those are the two issues I felt like I forgot. I think we are good on those. Let's go to step number 2 of how I won my green card. What happens if May of 4th you go check and find a lot of typing, a lot of writings? Without even reading, you've won. Congratulations. But if you go check this May 4th and you find that you haven't won, you shouldn't give up. Please recheck again. Some people missed the opportunity because they did not recheck. Recheck again on September. Recheck on September again. So, if you won, you will be directed to fill a form called D260. In this form, you are going to fill a couple of things, especially if maybe when you fill the diversity visa you are not married, but now it turns out that you're married. That is the time you can fill and say you married, or you have a child, or there's something that has changed since you last applied. So please, if you find that you've won, make sure you fill that form immediately, because if you don't fill it and you delay in filling it, you may find getting a late appointment in the visa interview. And the danger in finding a late date in the interview is because sometimes you may find visas have been issued up to the number that was supposed to be issued, and you find yourself late, you may be closed out. I don't want to explain more than that, but please make sure you've gotten your D260 filled up on time. What other thing do you need? After you fill your D260, the KCC, that's Kentucky Consular Center, will require you to send some scanned documents. That's the birth certificate for you, for your spouse, and for your eligible kids. You will be required to fill to send a prisons if you've been incarcerated before, you've been in prison, you should fill that form and fill why you were incarcerated or you're in prison. You will also have to fill or submit a police document, that is a certificate of good conduct in regard to where you are living as per that time. And if you are military, you will have to give documentation on military. So please bear in mind that those documents will be required by the KCC. And on the same vein, the same documents will be required during the interview. If you walk in for an interview, you will be required to provide the original of those scanned documents you sent. So please bear in mind that they will be required, and any supporting document that you think may be asked during the interview. Sometimes you carry more than you are asked during the interview, but that's being wise. You better carry more than you are asked, other than going in there with less documents, then given a paper like this, then told that you have to provide more documents, you have to support more documents. You don't want those delays. You better carry all the required documents. So I would like to touch on who is eligible, like what are the requirements, what should you have for you to win or for you to get a diversity visa. First of all, you need a high school certificate or high school diploma, as it's commonly known in the United States, and in Kenya it's called KCSE certificate. That's one of the requirements. If you don't have that one, you will have to provide a job experience of 2 years, and that job should be in accordance to the United States requirements. Sometimes somebody will go ahead and do plumbing, others electrical, others mechanical. So it is counted that you can provide a 2-year experience job that is acceptable by the United States. So if you want to find the 2-year job that is required by the United States, go to www.oneonline.org and you will find a on-net or online database group work experience into 5 job zones with listed occupations, and only 2 years experience is required. So those are 2 qualifications. Either of them can give you a DV lottery visa. Yes, I think I've touched on that. before you go to an interview, please make sure you've gone or you have gone for a medical exam. A medical exam is a very important thing you may need before interview, and this medical exam you must complete it along any required vaccines before the scheduled visa interview date. If you are in Nairobi, you will go to this location, that is Gigiri International Organization of Immigration, and the address is 78 United Nations Crescent off UN Avenue, Gigiri. So that is where you can go for your medical exam. So after you go for your medical exam, please make sure you've got these documents. First, make sure you have your D260 form. That's a confirmation of your D260. Also, make sure you have your passport. Please make sure you've carefully reviewed the day, the time, and the location of the interview prior to the date the interview is scheduled. Gather all the photographs. In case you are recently married, you may be asked to provide an evidence and probably a photo of you and your wife. So please make sure you carry them. Make sure you have an appointment information as a requirement, and all your original documents. So for more information, we are going in the next video to discuss on what happens during the interview, because it is one of the days that can change your life, that can make about turn to your life when you hear your visa has been or given, or you've been qualified to go to the United States. Is one of the happiest thing you can ever be told in your entire lifetime. So join me in the next video to discuss on what happens during the interview. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.